getting set for another round on the LPGA Tour of Korea as we say good afternoon and welcome back to the Bears Best here in Chungno. We are live from Sogu for round number 2 of the LOTTE Open. This second day of 4 with another fantastic forecast out there for us today with the sun peeking out through the clouds on another very pleasant afternoon. A fantastic round of 64. Chung Yoon-ji up to 11 under par with a 3-stroke advantage over So Young and the rest of the chasing pack. The top 3 is clearly delineated, and with players who are just either beginning their rounds at the midway marks of their rounds, a little bit all over the place with lots of players to keep an eye on. Our projected cut at the moment is even par. That will be where we separate the field from the 132 that had begun this tournament in the hunt for 800 million won. We'll try and narrow it down, and then in about 3 to 3.5 hours time, start to shift our focus and our attention to what should be a fantastic weekend here in the 13th ever playing of the LOTTE Open, and we begin our round 2 coverage right. We're doing well. We had a fantastic Friday evening and are off to a great Saturday. Excuse me, we had a great Thursday off to a great Friday. So we start to think about day tomorrow. Unfortunately, no birdie to start our round as we see a 2-putt finish on a downhill putt to get us going today. So Young with a 69 in the second round after shooting 67 yesterday. She sits at an 8 under par in the clubhouse. Kim Soo 2 with a 69, similar score to Kim Min-byul. Today Wood had been our winner at the end of the round yesterday. And the first handful of holes, no grounds to have made up. Draw schedule for the first 2 rounds. We see a good portion of the field yesterday, so we didn't get to watch closely yesterday, so we'll see here today. Jay and Jean playing a bird shot, plenty of backspin, bringing her ever closer to the front side of the screen, stopping hole high about 8 yards from our right to her left hole. To the par 3 7th. Ingenie skirts the outside of the hole but gets hung up out there and will lead that second tap of the ball. Birdie for her.
No idea.
Very makeable distance. Is next. Quite some distance away. Able to step up and convert on a bird here. Next up is EA1, who finds herself an even on number 6. Sloping left to right putt. A look at birdie. A narrow misses, and it goes just past the inside of the pin. On the par 4. The final hole before the turn. And she will be heading into that turn with a par. An uphill putt here at 6 for birdie. Jean. A nice approach, and she is able to pick up another stroke. Tied for 6th now with her second birdie of the day. Great start to her second round. This was on 9, so Jean. Left to right putt where the break comes in late. Hole number 8 is a 372-meter par 4. Chun-Yi Sung set to tee off, 6 back of the lead. She plays this next shot with her driver. To 5, a 120-meter approach shot from the fairway. I've already seen this tricky pin placement today on the right side of the green just before that drop-off. Conservative approaches have been and will remain the norm here in round number 2. We take a look at number 7. That is a 147-meter par 3. It's about as far west as we possibly get here on the Bears Best complex. Long bunker on the left side, just beyond the water. Pot bunker at the back right. The pin placement today on Friday. Out to the back left, 26 yards from the front of the green, and 7 from its left side. Only 11 birdies today of those who've been able to come through. See nearly 10 in the bunkers on either side of the green. Many players have had no problem going right at the pin. This particular tee shot not quite as pinpoint accurate as Jean would have been after. Onwards to 8. 6 iron, 155 meters out from the fairway for Chun-Yi Sung. Average putt distance 8 yards here. Back right pin placement. Some work to be done when she exchanges that wedge for a putter. We return to number 7. Currently tied for 61st. She is 1 under today, but hovering on this cut line. Need a birdie or two to try and gain herself a little bit of breathing room around that mark. We rejoin Cheynu here on 9. Her approach shot. It's a great bit of spin to keep her close as she travels about 9 feet beyond the hole in a distance where birdie is makeable. Jeannie's drive just rolled off the fairway into the rough. She has 7 iron here with 143 meters to go. On the dance floor, but the furthest away of her group. Suji just a sliver over 100 meters remaining, also at 9. She gets herself dug in almost exactly where she reaches the green. She had been one of the absolute bright spots in 2022. Jeannie the long way back. It's moving online. Just fading off at the end with the distance that she needed. Jung had found the green side bunker on 7 off the tee, but is able to recover fairly well up to about 5 feet away from a par. This putt missing to the inside. Yeah, one also in the sand at number 7. Tidy as she makes her way back up onto the green. Makeable up and down. Bunker shots continue. This is at 6. Kime Reem gets just enough loft on her escape to clear that high wall of the bunker. Jin a long way back at 7. To about 4 feet. That's a pretty impressive initial try. Kim Soo-ji is pretty significantly off the mark. Started to break away before returning online. Chanu also unable to muster up enough strength to get it all the way to the hole. Looking for her birdie. Up onto the green from the left side to its right. Quick the carry to put herself inside 10 feet. We have seen some much longer putts than that so far this week. Chung Yoon-ji is our leader at 11 under par at the minute. It is a 3-stroke advantage. Lee So-young, the closest challenger here through the first 20 minutes or so of our second round coverage of the Lotte Open. More will continue from Bears Best after a short break. Welcome back. We have arrived on the 8th tee. Jae Jean with an emphatic drive to begin the first of 2 par 4s in a row before the turn. It's a brilliant up to about 4 feet shy. Nice control with the wedge and puts herself into a position where anything other than a birdie would be a disappointment. Jetting along, and a particular approach has just enough backspin to keep the ball on the back of the green. You find Jeannie in a bit of a perilous position here in the pine straw. She's left herself with 114 meters, choosing the 8 iron here. Would imagine this is get as much distance as is reasonable, but obviously feeling like most of a layup. We'll see how she plays it. Oh, she does more than that. No need to concede the territory. She had a much straighter look at the pin than I'd initially believed, and despite an unfavorable lie, she does incredibly well to get up onto the green. Hasn't been her best tournament yet. Best performance yet in the tournament, I should say. Still time with 10 holes to find some improvement. Amy Jung in a similar boat on the outside, looking in currently. Go to Hong Jung Min on 8. Slight uphill putt here. Gained some elevation at the end. Needed that speed to make sure it would reach. Slightly misaligned to the left side. A beautiful day out on course, 24 degrees. Mixture of sun and clouds. Above, coming off of an exciting E1 Charity Open, won by Bungxin Shiel. Of course, we had the Doosan match play not too far in the past as well, a couple of weeks now. Next week will be the Celtrian Queen's Masters, where Bang Min-ji is the defending champion. Jung on 8. Finds the left side of the screen, quite some distance away from the pin. EA1 still at even her approach shot on 8. Sending that over the sand, or at least near to it on the right side. A little bit short on the approach. A bona fide birdie. Genie from the Pine Straw with an outside chance at a birdie to get to 2 under par. And between the 2 ball markers that belong to her groupmate, she has her 2nd birdie of the day. And her 2nd since the 6th hole. She goes out with a 35. It is tied for 33rd now, excuse me, at 2 under. Jean's approach on 8. It's a lovely kick from the front right to just a few inches shy of what would have been an eagle and should almost certainly be a birdie. Look at how that transpired. Perhaps if not for that little slope, she would have been barreling off the green, but shows a bit of mastery with that club. Next set of tee shots on 7, Kime Reem. High lofted ball to nearly the shadow of the flag. Nice and tight, and we'll have a realistic look at a bird. Chung Ye-sung, this to move to within 5. His 4-footer will go for her. Into a tie for 4th position, and if not for a double bogey midway through the front 9, she would be currently in a runner-up position. This is the ever long way back, despite the caddy's gesture to get closer and closer. Min Jung, not quite the power to reach where she needed it to. Jungmin on 9. Couple birdies between here and the finish line would do wonders in her pursuit of making the cut. She currently has that 1-stroke cushion. Needs to be slightly more precise than that to continuously go low here on the way in. near side pin placement, not for the faint of heart, but bravely played by the rookie. And you mean one of the Lotte athletes in the field. EA1 trying to hang on to a par. He's just narrowly able to get it roll around, to get it to roll around. Three tidy approach shots, all within about 5 feet of each other. One of her most impressive holes thus far in the second round. Jean with an approach shot to about 4 feet. The rest of it is a heck of a lot easier from there. Birdie's starting to be a little bit contagious here. Jung with the finish as well. Definitely has that game face engaged. We go over to 9 with Hong Jung-min. Uphill and quickly breaking away to the right, denying her of a bird. Holes to play for EA1, her final of the back 9. Looks unconvinced with this drive. Not entirely sure why she gave us that reaction. It's not too shabby at all. She has been overshadowed at times just with how good Kim-Min Biala is, but that is to take nothing away from her initial campaign here on the LPGA Tour of Korea. 119 rookie points back off the lead. This is Jean. Tee shot played into the fairway. Sun Yubin, her first birdie of the day, comes just immediately before the turn. Never a bad time to get it. throngs of supporters accompanying one of our featured groups down on hole number 9, keeping a close eye on Im Jung. An 8 under 64, Jung Yoon-ji, that is the difference thus far, up 12 positions. Park Jae-yoon up 46 spots after she was even in round 1, posts a 67 today, finds herself in a tie for 8th position. Time for a pause. We will return with more from round number 2 of the Lotte Open. We rejoin Im Jung and her group on number 9 with Im Jung needing at least one birdie to keep herself inside of that cut line. See what she's able to do from the green there, but our next shot will take us to a 59-meter approach for Chan Yi-sung. Didn't quite get the bite that she needed to with the wedge. Generally, a shallower pin placement on a par 5 is something of a gift from the tournament committee. It's been hard to go right at it thus far today. EA1 using the end of the fairway to slow her approach shot down. Bounces and sticks. A stride or two onto the green. And a putt from the fringe that starts left, and Lee Ga-young has it work its way back onto line. Runs out of speed about 3 feet shy of her birdie. Jean with a 54-degree wedge. Be quite similar to EA1. Case where she maybe even would have wanted a little bit less loft, so she would have been able to travel a bit further to the hole. Jeannie digs her heels in to the greenside bunker on 10. 26 meters out, working back to the left. That is a special shot from the sand to only a couple of short feet away. No problem going up and down. Strikes that ball expertly. So Jean, her birdie at 11, needs a little bit more. The second putt, we'll see her finish here with the par. And now an uphill putt for Chen Yusong. Break to the right. Came in a little bit earlier than expected. Start of the day tied for second after an opening round 67. And over halfway through her round, only been able to pick up 1 stroke thus far. Demi Jung at 9 to get to even. Comes close, but doesn't start to break until she is past the target. Another hole and another par. +1. The score remains. Just to complete the up and down out of the bunker. With a birdie. Little uphill, little right to left. Nicely executed, despite missing her fairway in regulation. Good bounce back for Genie. EA1, also an uphill putt. Here it comes back around. Song now all of a sudden a putt to save par. A little nudge. Starts it online, remains 5 back. A 4-way tie for 4th position. JG next, trying to break that 4-way tie. But a putt that is pulled, and par is the best she can now do. That is confirmed on the scorecard. A hole that is dramatic and exciting for the viewer, at times paralyzing for the performer. So Jean bounces that off the flag, and that's going to ricochet all the way back into the water. That is a new one for a par 3 that has seen just about everything. In a different world, that's a slam dunk for an ace. But now, it's all but a guarantee. Well, it is a guaranteed bogey unless she's able to hole out from the penalty zone. EA1 on 9, rolls in her par. The next contestant on 12 is Iga Young. Good shot might be a bit of an understatement here at 12. That is fantastic initial offering. We'll return to the par 3 in a few moments, but in the meantime, I'll look at the 484 meter par 5 10th at the northeast portion of the course, into that narrow fairway that winds its way through 3 bunkers. Anywhere from 250 to 200 meters remaining is the average yardage, and from there the fairway opens up. It gets nice and wide with the tree stuck right in the middle of it, and then a long beach stretch on the right side of the green, a pod bunker at the back right, 2 more sand traps on the left side, and a very tight front left pin placement in this second round. So far for Yumin, so good. Now we'll see what she does with 5 wood. Bit of a diminutive player, but she makes her calling cards, her accuracy. She's even able to find a little bit extra. Running that through the left side of the green, and we'll have a pretty good little look at it from there. Jean will go first. Fluidity and power in that drive. Gets a helpful carom to the right, but is not going to be able to center back into the fairway. Effortless combination of power and accuracy for EA1. She needs her wedges and putter to come alive a little bit here. The back half of her second round, if she has aspirations of competing this weekend. Well, upon further review, just narrowly avoiding getting wet. Stays up in the rough, and so Jean will be quite grateful for that, as she'll be able to go up and down. Thought it was no doubt off the flag and into the water, but the tall grass actually does her a favor. Here's a look at the tee shot again. Could not go any more direct at the flag if you wanted to. And it looked like it had been game, set, and match, but it's a little bit of luck, and with that second chance, she does well to put herself very close to the pin. A little touch from Sonia Bean. It's a deft touch at that. Junmin trying to set herself up for a birdie. Underhit it. Got it a little bit thick. Wasn't able to get close enough to the hole. Now Iga Young. In pursuit of this birdie for a little while now, and she is just, and only just, able to stay online for a nice birdie and some relief as well. She'll finally be able to put a circle on the scorecard again. meters for Chun Ye Song at 11. Onto the green, and that is where it will stay. Got a helpful little rollback to boot. for Amy Jung as she tries to pick her way about these fairways. Could do with a bit more accuracy with her iron, but her driving game has been pretty solid, as was the approach for Hung Yoo-min. This for eagle. She's not quite gonna get it there, but she will have her birdie to move back inside the cut line, at least for the time being. A masterclass at 10 though from the rookie. Yeah, 1 second with a hybrid. Just on the border of the fringe, it will, or excuse me, border of the fairway, it will sit. From right to left she works. And now, Hong Jung-min, much further out from her bird. She slightly underhits that as it drops away fairly quickly. Certainly bringing the fairway tree into play. It's Jae-Hae from the rough. Curious to see just how much underneath the arbor she is after all. Sonia Bean steps out, resets, and goes again. And it's a tap and birdie. To 11, just past the end of the fairway, Imjini. She's able to lift it high and stop at about 7 feet past the pin. Janu also electing for a 7-iron here at the par 3 12th. What surprise will it have for us this time through? It is an entry into one of the more fearsome sand traps. Off the back she heads, and now from the fringe, Pacquiao looking for a birdie downhill, working it close and close, but not close enough, unfortunately. Only 85 meters remains here for Jae-Hae beneath the shadow of the fairway tree. To about 8 feet beyond and right of the pin. Nice shot as she exchanges out for the putter. Awfully close to that inside left edge. Left to mark off and try again. Here's EA1 from the left side of the fairway. How close can she get on 10? Not that close, as she fails to get the ball to really dig in as she lands on the green. Jung continues to zigzag across the course, lacking some of that trademark accuracy that we've grown so accustomed to seeing from her. ENG needing this uphill putt to save a par 11 and avoid dropping to 2 under, but she misses to the inside. Usually we just say dig in general anytime somebody finds themselves in the sand, but this is a proper dig in for Jayunu. Her blast out, and she needs it to sit. Needs it to sit. That downslope comes in a hurry, but stops just in time on the fringe. Otherwise that could have gone from bad to worse. Won't be able to mark and clean off the ball there either, which is an unfortunate byproduct of just rolling past the green. There's the A1. A long way to go up the hill. Gonna break left to right, looking for a birdie. Here it comes back, rocking back, it loops around. She was hoping if she waited long enough, it would have that final last little bit. Her caddy's even peeking, she's peeking as it hovers over the hole. That's almost impossible. Give it a moment. Wow. As if there was some hidden force preventing her from a birdie. She has to settle for par despite one of the most unbelievable putts of the day thus far. And now Jayanu back uphill, back into the wind. Looks pretty good to start. Tee shot to the sand, sand shot to the fringe. The first putt is up and it will unfortunately be a bogey. Now we meet Jung, gonna start this to our right. On its way back, dropping pretty quick between she and DA1. There have not been many birdies to come by for those two today. This too will be quite the dramatic putt. Gonna break right to left very quick. Jae Jean looks for a birdie to get to 7 under. Nicely executed. Her 4th birdie now of the day and into a share of 3rd position. Starting to put together some consistently wonderful shots. Wang Jungmin wouldn't mind one of those. 1 under in the rough on 11. To the back of the green and just going to stay. Son Yebin was not far off from having this become a very bad day. With a little bit of luck, she plucks that second shot out. Chung Yoon-ji's lead remains at 3 under, but it's seeming to be under threat very, very soon from either Chun Ye-sung or Chae Hae-jin, who are 5 and 4 strokes back, respectively. Our projected cut line here for the 2023 Lotte Open, remaining at the moment at even par. Welcome back and thank you for joining us here on this second round Friday at Bears Best Cheongna. We see the par 3 12th has taken another victim. One hole prior on the par 4, we find EA1 and company. Drive that is slightly missed to the left and will settle into the rough for the now sophomore, who started this 2023 campaign about as great as you could hope. Finally getting what had been an elusive first ever victory. Son Ye-min was online, then it drifted off again. Back to the right, and no birdie for her to find here. Genie has at times struggled today off the tee. Not the hole where you want that trend to continue. Going with the 7-iron here. She plays it safe, quite some distance away from the pin. I have to play that quick to get it across the flatland before it dips down into the valley. Back at 11, Hung Yoo-min, she had just missed an eagle. Was able to pick up a birdie. Can she go back to back? Not quite. Kicks out to the right. She'll settle for par. The 136-meter par 3 17 was just treated to a brilliant tee shot to serenade of what is dubbed the party hole. DJ t-shirt cannons. The bleachers just above the par 3. Great vantage point all the way through. Fun for the patrons, no doubt. EA1 unfortunately goes rough to rough. Jung. Out of the rough, over the sand, trying to stay as tight as she can to the right side here. Plays it pretty well, but now she needs that putter to deliver for her. Chung Ye-sung. All loft. That is best case scenario. Able to punch it out, but it is going to take off. So maybe some morbid curiosity as she watches that roll, but will be relieved to see it stay there on the border of the green and the fringe. Also from the rough at 11. It's an admirable effort from Jae-Jin. And now Genie. There it goes down the hill. We'll pick up a bit more speed. Is it online? Not quite. Very good try though. Guaranteed par. She'll tap in, but 9 back. Much of that is just to Jung Yoon-ji's credit, who shot a 64 today. It's an uphill putt back up towards the hole. Not enough to avoid a bogey, unfortunately, though. It's on Eugene. Here at 11. Min Jung's reaction says it all. Certainly in a rut, and a birdie would help her climb out of it. Simplest of finishes as we head back to rejoin Gene. We were absolutely spoiled by being able to follow Kim Hyo-joo yesterday. We have another LPGA Tour player, another absolute superstar today. Back-to-back birdies, now 5 on the day with lots of golf to be played. Maybe that 11 under score at the top isn't quite safe after all. She needs this par, otherwise she's dropping to the wrong side of the cut line. EA1 able to secure it. Still a long way off the pace, however. Back to 12. The next group to come through. Sun Yubin, Hung Yumin and company. All the way to the back, but will avoid the sand by staying on the fringe. Jihyun 7, playing her 8th hole of the day and picking up a birdie. You mean? Most common club here has been 7. She's electing for an 8-iron. Probably could have even dropped down to a 9. She is not able to stay on the fringe and is off the back into the sand. .7 for Hong Jung-min. And she's up. She's on. Will she stay? Yes. Yes, she will be putting for her next shot. Well, what appeared to be a nearly untouchable advantage for Chung Yoon-ji, and her 64 is very much under threat from Jae Jin, who moves into a tie for second with Lee So-young, who is 5 under through 11. Still 7 holes to play to find a couple more strokes to reach that 11 under score. The waterfall in the background makes this feel a heck of a lot more relaxing than I'm sure it does in that sand trap. But I mean, makes it look rather simple. She is gotten up, but down is significantly more simple as a result. playing the ball into rather intense breeze. Able to have just enough power to clear that bunker and stay on the front side of the green. Lee Young, a double bogey at 13 after finally being able to get that birdie that she had been in a dogged pursuit of. Trying to bounce back, but unfortunately not able to stay quite close enough to really bring birdie into the realistic category, but we won't count her out just yet. Putting from the fringe, well above the pin. Weight control is on display from Sonia Bean, just slightly misaligned. Sonia Sung at 5 under on 13. Stays in that first quarter. A little bit more off to the right, but quite workable. Hung Yumin did oh so well to get herself up, and lets an opportunity pass her by. She's unable to hole out for par. This is ENG. Her second on 13, going with 9-iron. She's technically not on the green, but she'll take that any day of the week. Can this unbelievable run of form for Jae Jin continue? Her tee shot at 12. Wanted it to dig in a little bit more where it landed, but any complaints with that shot would have to be very, very marginal. So Jean on 14. Long sweeping putt, looking for a birdie. Just a few feet short and left. One's turn. That's more like it. No, she needs that putter to get on board. Definitely Type of shot where she can build some confidence and momentum off of, though. Yiga Young could benefit from both of those things, or either of those things. Confidence or momentum. Unable to capitalize on that birdie putt after her double bogey. And lastly in the group on 12, it is Im Hee Jung, who goes in behind Jae Hae-jin's ball, but everybody in the group is on the green. Oh, the par 3 12th, something of a rarity. Nicely played, everyone. It'll tap to get the ball started downhill. It's narrowly missed to the outside, and no risks, no rush. She'll mark off and wait her turn to go again. Well, barring some kind of unbelievable birdie putt on 12, the lead will stay at 3 for the time being, but Jae Hae-jin very much on the climb. 7 holes to play, 3 strokes back, chasing down 11 under with their projected cut still at even par. just past the halfway mark of our Friday coverage here at the Lotte Open. Amy Zhang on 12 has been in hot pursuit of that birdie for quite some time. She'll have to wait at least until 13 to try and find it. As we go to Imjini, putting from the fringe and just stopping short. The anticipation from the patrons, watching that putt from, you mean inch ever closer, coming up just shy. Jungmin is next here on 13. Catches it sweetly. EA1 staring down a birdie of her own. One of her better tee shots of the day. Can she make the most of it? Yes. To reach the green and failing to do so, getting caught and stuck in the rough was Son Ye-bin. Robbed of her birdie at the last. Was unable to find the green here as well. Grip and rip from EA1 after her birdie. Goes nicely into the fairway, just at the bend of the dogleg. Navigating it all, including the intense breeze blowing from left to right to stop on the green. Jean follows suit. She is far and away the most informed player on course at the moment. Next up is Sun Ju Hee on 17, playing her 8th hole of the day. Maybe the secret to pinpoint tee shots is Harry Styles after all. More brilliant short game play from Sun Yebin from the rough to about 6 feet away. An absolutely cracking day here at Bears Best Chungna, designed by the great Jack Nicklaus himself and his group. Such a cool complex here of 27 holes. The European course, which is not featuring in this event. The United States course, which the field plays 1 through 9, and the Australasian course, 10 through 18. Models of some of Nicklaus Design Group's best from across the regions for which the 9 holes are named. 13th playing of this tournament. Running it from the rough and just past the target. From the second top rookie thus far this season. Gabin now on a left to right putt uphill and right on the money. Big birdie, her second of the day. 1 hole remaining in her front 9 and hasn't put a step wrong thus far. Sun Yebin trying to save a par in a very difficult spot. Still, though, able to nearly capitalize on it, but it's just short. Hangs it up and has to tap in for a bogey. Next up on 17. Right to left, Sun Ju Hee for birdie. You go 2 for 2 from the group. Jungmin's body language shows someone who's been mostly frustrated today. Took her 13 holes, but she's finally been able to pick up a birdie. 13 is next, and the drama does not stop from hole number 12. The second shot for Amy Zhang. She's going to stay on the green, but only just all the way to the back left of it. Can't play it a heck of a lot better than that. To just 3 short feet away. But now EA1. Three very different shots out of this group on 13. Just through she goes. Nice and tidy for Che Hei-jin, who is almost certainly going to go up to 9 under. Sole possession of P2 with still what will be (14, 15, 16, 17, and 18 remaining. That is 5 bites at the apple to find 2 strokes to tie or 3 to move ahead clear. Now Eugenie on 14. Downhill, tricky one for birdie. Starts to come back, and too much pace and not quite at the flag enough for it to become an assist. Next up, and also downhill, is Pacquiao, who needs at least 3 birdies in this home stretch to make the cut. She's not gonna have it here. Sonia Bean, she is becoming quite adept at playing these shots from the rough, except this time she needed to find a little bit of power as well to go with it. Shoots that to the right side of the fairway, almost all the way down before the turn. Works that to within mere centimeters, but it's not going to be enough to find a birdie, so she'll have to tap in. Assigns her a par on the hole. Now Jeannie. Don't know that I'd classify her as at risk of missing the cut, but she'll certainly be taking a little bit of extra time on all of these putts for par. Maybe this time she just takes a little bit too long and overthinks it. Well, she finally gets her birdie today. She had been without one and was all pars save for that bogey at 4. She goes to even, and while she's not in the clear yet, Amy Jung, it certainly gives her a bit of a lift. It is one of the seminal moments of the round for Che Jean. So close to the hole that her shadow covers it. She botches it, leaving her fans in some stunned silence. She's able to laugh it off, but she could take that blindfolded most of the time and still be able to bury. Join Che Gabin on 18. Working her way closer and closer to the top 10. Currently tied for 19th. Is able to blast that with the fairway wood down onto the putting surface. The way she struck the ball today, despite that shocker on 13. She is able to remain bogey-free, but something in the concentration has lapsed because she's missing putts and now she's missing drives, and missing drives is not something she's had done much this week. Yesterday, Che Jean had not missed a single drive on the par 5. Today, she's missed 3 of them, despite everything else in her game being nearly a well-oiled machine. Yeah, one is next with the big stick. It's Much more like it. Perhaps a bit too much power. She goes into the rough off the fairway to its left. Trying to be a little bit, not quite greedy, but extra aggressive. Trying to reach from the rough, but instead it goes rough to rough. Hung you mean on 14, the third shot on the par 5. That backspin is absolutely cruel. She was about 3 feet away before it zips back towards the front of the green. Young just hasn't quite had that same feel around the greens today. Now, it's tough to have feel for anything when you're in that thick of rough. So we'll see how Amy Jung is suddenly able to play at even par. Big birdie for her at number 13. With the way the back nine is structured, this the final par 5 of the round for our featured group. Uneventful, just as she would have preferred it to be. A second shot back to the fairway. Jae-Jean trying to follow suit as she tries to go low under the tree, but not that low. She tops it, and I don't know that she got through the shade of the tree directly in front of her. She did not. So she is sputtering and stuttering, and you have to wonder if that missed birdie from about 3 feet has just thrown a wrench. And you mean that looks good? And it looked good all the way to the very end where it popped out the other side. Take 2 for Jae-Jean. Maybe take 3, depending on how you want to look at it. This time she gets her clean contact and does send it to the fairway. No margin for error now on this approach shot next. Not to be with putter this time. Sung Bean. This would take her to 2 under par. But it starts right way too quickly. Coming back, running out of gas. A couple of feet away and down on 18. She'll feel maybe a little bit robbed. Iron in hand for EA1. Her approach shot on 14. Too much club. She bounces off the back and into the rough. Misaligned left. A bit more of a draw on that than she would have wanted and needed. Amy Jung off her birdie. Struggling to navigate with the wind in her face. Jean, her 4th, has to be close. Not exactly what she wanted, not exactly what she needed. We'll see what she's able to do with it. Sun Joo-hee trying to save a par, but short change from jump. Genie next at 15, 143 out. Gets a great kick on line to get it within about 3 or 4 feet. That is one of her best shots of the day, quite easily. A little bit of drama at the end, as it does nearly a full rotation. Sun Joo-hee needed that to avoid a double. The only blemish on her scorecard halfway through her round. Chun Yi-sung, that was her 3rd, still leaving her with a rather lengthy par putt. From the rough, EA1 playing it back up. She's up. Will she be able to get down? That will be the next question. Chun Yi-sung is able to salvage her par to stay at 6 under. Is tied for 6th at the moment with 4 others. Jung is able to climb up and out of the sand. Wanting to take one last look where the ball will break. Well, maybe that walk paid off. For some of the cold clubs she's had in her bag, sand wedge is not one of them. Next up on the birdie hole. Enabled by a kinder pin placement today, the shots just keep dazzling over on 17. Jae-hee needed that for par, so she goes from almost a surefire birdie that she missed for par to scuffing a ball in the rough, and dropping will be at least 1 stroke here. So Chung Yoon-ji, wherever she is tuning in to keep an eye on the proceedings, can breathe a bit more of a sigh of relief that her 8 under today might just be good enough to see her start the 3rd round as the top player in the field. At the minute of the 132 that began, we've seen 6 players withdraw, leaving us with 126 that will very shortly be cut down to 77 unless we see a few more players outside the cut bump up their scores in their 2nd round. Maybe then that cut line would move to 1 under. Currently have 60 players under par. And another 17 at even. EA1, she is one of those players that is teetering on the edge as she misses her putt for par and will also be bogeying. Jeannie, nice to see that she's going in the opposite direction, looking at a chance to move to basically the top 30. She blows that opportunity as well. Visibly frustrated. That is 3 short birdie misses that we have seen in rapid succession. Jean steps up and makes sure that she doesn't miss Back-to-back three-footers. Drops her to 7 under, her first bogey of the day after 13 holes of near perfect golf. As we move right along to 15, this 330-meter par 4 with an absolutely ludicrous bunker that separates the fairway from the tee blocks. Big U-shaped, maybe with some tentacles, as it goes all the way around the base of this fairway that narrows quite significantly on that approach towards the green. Sand trap to the left, and a section of the left side of the green that slopes away. The pin today, well, it is nowhere near that little action zone. It's at the back right. Pitching wedge for Hong Jung-min at 15, but on buck 10 short, gets it hole high, comes to rest about 15 feet to the left of the pin. There is the delayed roar, but that is coming from a couple of holes away on 17. Start for Imi Jung once again on the wrong side of par. Works towards that stretch of rough, but safely in the fairway just before it. That erupts for Ige Young, who has a long birdie on 17. She certainly needed that, and we move right along to a bit of a pitch from the rough on 15 from Sonia Bean. Step in the right direction for Jay Jean. Now Hong Jung-min just pulled a little bit, misses left. Tantalizing. It's close, but it's not going to impact the scorecard positively. The party keeps on rocking. Down at 17. Stunning day for the second round of the Lotte Open. Here is how the leaderboard looks at the moment. Chung Yoon-ji's lead remains at 3, getting a bit of breathing room after that bogey from Jae Jean. Chun Ye-sung, 6 under, 5 back through 15. Paik Soo-bin also 6 under through the 15th hole of her round, but she is playing on the other 9. We have Park Ju-young, who is 6 under through 9, 3 under for the day. Chae Ae-ban, who was our leader after 18 holes, is still even through 12 holes of play. Jung Yeon-ju is at even for the day at 5 under par. More from Bears Best here in Cheongna after a short break. Moving right along into the home stretch of round number 2. Chun Sung's approach. A wedge shot up onto the green with the wind as an assist. Not throwing her off too much whatsoever. We find Amy Jung in a perilous position just outside of the bunker that she'd probably rather be in, considering where she is striking this ball from with her second shot on 15, 109 meters out. Pretty good out, all things considered. Just past hole high, close to the fringe. Nice up from ENG. And on 15 again, when giving it a nice little push for Che Hei-jin, who had found herself in the rough once more. Here's how things are shaking out thus far on 18. One final par 4 to end the day. A nearly 200-meter drive to the extreme left of the fairway. And that is where our first shot here from the duo will be taken. So Jean with a 5-wood. 375 requires just about everything in your bag, and so Jean was about 4 centimeters away from plunking that and actually burying it in the corner of the bunker as we head back to 17. Kim Soo-ji tees off. And into the wind, she drops a dart. One from the rough. Doesn't catch it as cleanly as she would have liked. Moves herself to within 5 feet though. And now Chun Sung, can she get to 7 under? She thinks she's got a chance, and she would have. Just needed a bit more muscle on that putt. Genie, tied for 48th, trying to move up to a tie for 33rd at 2 under. Gonna go Right to left. Great line, great putt. Young kisses the outside edge, but with too much speed, it's not going to drop for her. Yiga Young had the die on her immediately in terms of its speed. It was still more than a mid-range putt to next try and save par. A dime from Hong Jung-min. She'd love a do-over of that front nine where she just wasn't able to make any shots. Jean, a chance at redemption. Gets her birdie back. Stabilizes the ship with 3 holes to play. Overshot with very fine margins. Sonia being deep into the rough. Back to 18. Ball on its way back. Valiant, valiant try. It's always an outside look at birdie. Gave it everything she had and will tap in these final 2 feet. So Jean improves upon her opening round with a 69 today, finishes at 4 under halfway through the tournament. Suji, who has been making some incredible shots this season. A little bit more speed, she'll settle for par. Yiga Young whiffs on a par, or what she wanted to be her final putt of the day. She's gonna drop. Find herself 10 shots back of the lead. And she takes to the course tomorrow. Tough with 2 bogeys and a double in the final handful of holes. As we move on to 16 with our featured group. Brilliant first shot to start the second to last par 4 of the day. Seven iron for Chun Ye Sung on 17. Lands rather deep on the green and 17, but they are away. So with that birdie at 15, Jae Jean, she can still reach the top of the ladder, but she needs 3 consecutive birdies to get there in her last 3 holes of the day. Jae Bon, she remains at even through 13 holes of her second round. Welcome back to 17. Nearly one of the best birdies of the day here. I'm sure opinion is probably close to split on whether you like the music bumping in the background or if it's a bit of a distraction. Always enjoy it on the walk off. You can enjoy it with a birdie or a nicely earned par as well. As we go over to 18 next with Kim Soo-ji in the rough. Second shot, over 150 meters to go. She plays the iron, can't keep it on the green, can't get it to stay in the rough either. She drops into that green side bunker. The bleachers out to the other side and walking towards the teeing ground on 18. We, meanwhile, go back to the approach shots at 16. EA1 first up, gets that on a big bounce and slows up just in time to be about 6 feet past the hole with a chance to move back under par. From being incredibly close to getting that ball to slam on the brakes. That is the up from Kim Soo-ji from the sand. J.G. next. Just make out the flag in the background. Needs to be left. And it's online. And never say never. She can put the putting woes behind her. Maybe that 3-3, what would be a 4-4 stretch, could be on. Nevertheless, she'll be in one of the final groups tomorrow. As we near the end of our show, we'll run through some highlights. The day belonged to Chung Yoon-ji, who was absolutely dialed in from the jump today. The 69 in the first round is no bad feat, but she was 13th. Your front nine wasn't all that special, admittedly, in that she found bogey 2, birdie 4, birdie 8, birdie 9, which still very impressive, but it is how she would end the day that really grabs some attention. See more of those shots as we move along, but there would be 4 straight birdies to tie a bow on the day. It was a lovely little approach to sit within just a few feet, and Lee So-young would pick up a birdie to move to within 3 of the lead. As you can see, a much different set of weather conditions this morning. Drizzly, cooler, and wet, and that little bit of precipitation helping to slow the greens down. It was a nice birdie to have midway through the back 9 to stem back-to-back bogeys, but this is where we return with Chung Yoon-ji. As you can see, that run of 4 birdies, 15, 16, 17, and 18. She would get another on the par for 8th. And then this, her approach on her final shot of the day. 112 meters back to within a few inches from the hole. We know the rest. She would tap in and take, at that point, a 5-shot lead over the field. It would be brought down to 3, courtesy of one Lee So-young, just as the weather disappeared. We saw lots of that yesterday. She has a 5th, maybe even a 6th sense for reading the green. She knows more often than not when she is going to make her putts. This was Chae-Hee-jin. long way back when she started the day, but started the day with a couple of birdies. Over to 8, which was actually 17 for Lee So-young. Following the wind to the tee and right to the pin. Bounces off it. She would have this short putt to move into outright second position. On 6, more from Jae-Jean. Second birdie of the day. In the first 6 holes, she certainly would not be done there. 128 meters out, a 9-iron on 8. Climbing up onto the green. Landing that just inside of the fringe, straightening it out. The simplest of finishes for her third and final birdie of the front 9. She would go out with a 33. Then on 14, some struggles to reach this green. And she was waiting, and she was waiting after having just missed an even shorter putt the hole before for a birdie. She really took her time there. She would drop her stroke, but she would get it right back on hole number 15. So she returned to 8 under, level with her Lotte teammate, Lee So-young, and now here on 16, a chance to take the outright runner-up position at the moment. For us, a little left to right. Downhill is money. Well, can she do what the leader had done and go 4 from 4 in that stretch? 15, 16, 17, and 18. The raucous 17th is the next. We'll head to 18 in the meantime. Kim Soo-ji, after finding the sand, she plays out, and then she unfortunately misses the putt. Ends the day on a bit of a down note. Here's how things stand late in this second round. Chun Ye-sung on 18. She's only 1 under for the day, but only 5 back for the tournament. Baek Soo-bin, she is 3 under, as is Kim Ji-soo on their 17th and 16th holes, respectively. 2 holes to play, 2 shots back. Of course, Jae-Jean and Chung Yoon-ji just painted that story for you. Park Chu-young, pretty good round. Che Ga-bin, a good round in progress as well. Tougher the further down we go. An Sung-yi, Lee Ji-hyun 3, both over par, as is Lee Ji-hyun 7. Lee Jung-min 3 under today, a 69. Same with Hung Ye-na to move inside of the top 30. Lee So-mi posted an even par 72. Han Ji-won did the same. Oh Soo-min, our low amateur, went over par today, but she had a 69 yesterday, so she is at 2 under par. Park Bo-mi, a 68 today. Very respectable day at the office. Kim Soo-ji just saw her finish with her 73rd and 74th shots. And this is where things get tight, because our projected cut line is this even par score. Kim Yan needs to find at least a par the final few holes. Kim Na-young is flirting with missing it. Han Min-sung just on the wrong side, couldn't get that one last stroke that she needed today with a 72. Son Ye-bin, 2 holes left to find a birdie. Lee Mi-jung, 3 holes to find that birdie. Some names like Kim Han-ni, In Ju-yeon at the moment on the outside looking in, with the former being done for the tournament, posting that 73. Shin Ji-won too with a 75 today to miss out, unfortunately, on this weekend's festivities. Always disappointing one when you come close but are not able to get to the other side. This is where we will say farewell for the day. It's been a fantastic 3 hours. We appreciate you joining us for it, with the weather cooperating and a nice aerial shot of the facility as we say farewell. A reminder that we are on the air earlier tomorrow, as is the case for the entirety of the weekend, so set your schedules accordingly. When we return, we will know exactly what that lead, as if it is even a lead for Chung Yoon-ji, how far back Chae Hae-jin will be, and then moving day will officially be underway. On the way to crowning another champion for this 800 million won tournament that is the Lotte Open. On behalf of our entire SBS Golf crew, I've been Adam Jenkins. I thank you for joining us this evening. We'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy your Friday, and then we'll be back to the LPGA Tour of Korea before you know it. So long.